House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the part of the show that we always get right the very first time. This is House to Home, and Liz is here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam. Half a day, Liz?
Half a day.
Okay, you weren't here last week, but Gina and I had a fantastic conversation about construction and, getting the loan, acquiring a loan, and everything like that. I'm wondering if we can kind of like flip the script a little bit like that with you here now, because I'm wondering if there's any difference, pro or con, if I would like to go through the transaction with cash, and if the process is in any way different.
Well, process will be similar, but you're dealing with cash, and we let people know, we've had people that want to do 50% or they want to pay a big chunk on the front end, and we say, no, don't do that. Normally what happens if you're paying cash, of course there's a contract. A contract is made between you and your contractor. Of course, you want to pick from a variety of contractors, but you want to go out and look at sample work that they've done. You want to see what's the quality of the work, and is the quality of the work suitable for your taste and your need, and then look at the different plans that they already have in place. When you're paying with cash, the contract will be structured where there's different phases of payment. So for example, first phase could be the main part, getting the ground ready, getting the base of the home in place. Foundation,
things.
Yes. And getting that in place. And then once that's completed, that could be one phase of a percentage of the contract would be paid. Then the next phase could be when parts of the walls go up. So they will phase it, so a proportionate amount from the contract price will be put in place and made payment as each phase is completed.
Okay, so there still isn't one single transaction that...
Yeah, you'd have to go through a number of phases.
I guess for my peace of mind and everything like that, I mean, it's more checks I have to cut and everything like that, but I only pay for what has been completed.
Exactly,
Okay.
and there have been cases where people have paid either in full or 50%, and the contractors disappeared. They can't complete the job. So there's
take the money and run.
Yes, but at the same time, you don't want to go into this process unless the contractor's reputable, he's known with the banks, and he's known with other reputable firms that he delivers. So in going through the process, payment is only made as it's completed. Otherwise, and also following the contract, what was the contractor supposed to do? Now, myself, having gone through the process, by the way, I was telling you we're going to do a field trip next week.
Yes.
To actually see.
Thank you for getting me out of the office. I'm looking forward to
we're
that.
going to go look at a home that was built and go show you what steps were taken and what was done.
All right.
Whenever you're building, there always a tendency is, how about I add this? How about I add that? And Mr. Contractor, can you do this? Everything you do, any change order will cost. So as the process goes, sometimes you get a good contractor who will say, oh, that's not too much of a problem, I could make an adjustment. But you want extra tiling, you want to tile the garage, you want to tile the patio.
Circular staircase.
Whatever it is, you're into the circular staircase.
I like circular staircases. My dad's boss had one when I was a kid. I fell in love with it.
Yeah, you brought that up a number of times in the different shows.
Only 20 or 30.
So everything you add will cost you money, and it's out of the scope. So you have to be very careful budget-wise when you go through this process, because everything you do and every change, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So you have to really pull out your scope. And I remember when we were going through this, honey, is this included? Aren't we going? He goes, he would pull out the scope of work and say, well, that's included, that isn't. And so these are factors you have to really think about when you're putting together your contract and negotiating with a contractor. What do you want? What's included? Are air conditioners included?
Scope of
Are
work.
light fixtures? Yes. So really, you really have to take the time. A few days ago, someone came in and said, I want to build. And I need a contractor, I have the cash, this is what I want to do. So we called a contractor and we sat there and we went through the process with him. Of course, I didn't know this, but he had a list of questions about setbacks, about different parts of the aspects of building. And so at the end of the meeting, he said, look at this. These were all my questions, and they all were answered. So it really helps to have someone guide you through the process.
Okay. Now, in the 5 years we've been doing this segment, if there's one incontrovertible truth, you know I'm paranoid about everything, right? And I'm thinking if I should pay with cash, even though it may seem better because I don't have to worry about long-term debt and interest and everything like that, does that have any impact on equity with respect to me possibly taking away from equity? And
okay. So what happens?
And my credit score is a completely different thing, right? That's with the bank. That's not with you.
But your equity in the home, of course, is based on the market value. Now, if the market value goes up, if you paid, for example, if you paid $300,000, and by the time you're done, just remember you have to factor in the construction costs, you have to factor in the land costs, and by the time you're done, the house may be worth $500,000, and maybe your land was $100,000, and your building cost was $300,000. You have already gained equity. So yes, it does improve, especially if you can get a deal in the construction costs.
Okay.
But bear in mind, costs keep coming up, and the market keeps changing. You gotta get in there when the market is good.
This is why I really love you and Gina coming in here, because you guys give us like these little tips and everything like that that really add up and really make a difference going forward.
Yeah, so field trip next week.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, can I wear Zori's and shorts?
Yes.
Okay, it's like a field trip in high
But
school.
remember, it's a little construction site. They're still doing some stuff, so you got to be prepared.
Okay, so Zori's, shorts, and hard hat.
Yes.
Okay, I'll see you then. And we will see you on the flip side of this break. Can't wait. Field trip next week.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.